So we asked people in the poll to rank where they thought the UK would come in terms of income by US states. And we found the average response was the people thought the UK was about number 7.
51st. GDP per capita rank. They are more poor on average than the poorest state we have, the UK. If you guys know, we just talked about the United States and the favorability index across the world. I don't really give that much stock because most people are jealous, and you'll say that's arrogant, but I'm okay with it. I grew up in Canada, and many of them don't like Americans because they're jealous. So the common theme with Brits in the UK, if you've been watching any content lately, is they don't like the United States or Americans.
It's just scary. We don't have, like, free speech.
I agree. I won't move there. It's nice to look at. You'd step over there and you already lose like 10 of the rights that you have here.
And plus there's a lot of homeless people and everyone's high.
Yeah, the gun law is just ridiculous. That's absolutely stupid how there's guns are just allowed to be normalised. I just don't get how you can buy a gun in a shop. No, I would never. No, I think it's crazy.
I don't think people are necessarily dumb, and I don't think it's a question of being dumb. I think it's just that there's this idea of like, yeah, being the best. To think that like people in America,
Correct.
Depending on where you're born, you can have access to care or not, it's frightening. And I don't know how you can speak about being the best when you can't even make sure that everybody's like taken care of.
I don't like the culture, whether it's tipping, guns.
Tipping, I get.
The thoughts on abortion, nah.
How can you, man, try to change the language that was invented for you by other people? That's like me going to Spain and trying to change up the Spanish language because I want to be an individualist. Nah, bruv.
Was that English?
Because
We're the ones who invented English, isn't it? Did you replace your S's with V's? Hey, make this sound for me. Oh, okay. I think we've commandeered that language. It's ours now. And by the way, was that last guy, was that Jelly Roll?
oh no, that's the British version, Jiggly Jam Biscuit.
Oh.
Or Softy. My bad. I'm
Softy served. Aye. Stay frosty, my friends.
Josh can't read.
My mates. So, let me just address a few points there. References available. We do this every show, 11 a.m. Eastern. If you're watching the clip, we stream live, and you can call us to the mat if we're wrong. One person said, there's no freedom of speech. At least about 30 people per day are arrested for offensive online messages in the UK. We've seen numbers as high as 12,000 per year. I know some people will argue over the metrics. Let's call it 5,000. And then if you look at healthcare, you can't take care of all you people depending where you were born. Well, the United States outperforms the UK in healthcare by pretty much every metric that matters. For example, like 5-year cancer survival rates.
It's a big one.
Premature infant survival rates, ER wait times, specialist access, of course, medical innovation. That doesn't really come from the UK. Needing to, let's say, for example, take part in preventative care. That's not a thing in the UK. It's not a thing in Canada. So, yeah, they'll say those things. They have no idea what they're talking about. When they say, you don't have free speech, what that feminist Brit means to say is there might be someone else speaking freely which may offend me.
Right.
When they say they can't take care of everyone, what they really mean is I'm comfortable with complacency and my perception is that this healthcare is free even if it's lower quality.
Yeah.
If you were to take a sample of people and let's just say 100 people, we've conducted these types of experiments many times, and you give people a lunch that's free, and it's just a sack lunch, just let's say a ham sandwich on white bread. And then you have other people pay for their lunch. Those who got and even they may get surf and turf. The people who got a free lunch will have a higher satisfactory rate. Did you know that? Because they didn't pay for it. That's the same thing with healthcare. And that's a lot of these rankings that you see that had us right next to, I believe, Colombia and Lithuania, had Cuba above us. Mm-hmm. It's because people go, well, since I don't have to pay for it, it's free. It's all they know. If you have a serious disease, illness, or something maybe that would require experimental treatment, there's one factor, one facet that changes the outcomes for the better. Are you in the United States of America? Period. Regardless of income level, you have a better chance of surviving it. And here's the other thing. A lot of people in the UK may not like America. We don't care. But they also don't have any semblance as to where they stand. So, spoiler alert, it's not good. But there was a new study from the Institute of Economic Affairs in London. They asked Brits how rich they would be or how rich they thought they would be if they were a state in the U.S.
So we asked people in the poll to rank where they thought the UK would come in terms of income by US states. And we found the average response was the people thought the UK was about number 7. Not the richest state in America, but really up there, really amongst the top. And of course, we know in a per income capacity, that's not true at all. In fact, the UK is now 51st amongst US states.
Yeah.
And that difference actually was something that we found to be one of the most powerful movers. Telling people that information is one of the most powerful movers in terms of an emotional response.
Yeah. 51st. GDP per capita rank. So the UK about $52,600. That'd be 51. Mississippi would be obviously 50. Our poorest state, still about $1,000 more, 53,000. The state that you often think of as most poor is not West Virginia, $60,000 GDP per capita.
They're trying though.
Hey, Nick. Sorry to bug you. I just want to say I really like that thing you said about the Red Sox on your show the other day. I want to show my appreciation with a little tip.
Was it a check?
Yeah.
My fucking Western Union? I don't even think my bank takes checks anymore. Now I'm gonna have to go to the Walmart Money Center. I'll get hit with more fees than actual money that I'll receive. Wait, $3. $3 doesn't even buy $2. Am I supposed to get like a half a Big Mac with this? I guess at the 86, the middle bun, I could save a little money. Get the fuck out of here, Josh. Come on. Good hands.
Thanks.
Told you. Should use Rumble Wallet to tip him.
I know. It's a non-custodial wallet with end-to-end encryption that allows me to tip my favorite content creators quickly and securely. I don't know, I just thought like a check was more personal, you know? Look, it's got my address on it. You're a moron.
Seriously, download the Rumble wallet and step away from big banks for good. No fees, no middlemen, none of the crap you have to deal with where you go in and they say you have some concierge account, but it's some guy who wants to tell you about Bitcoin and he's doing mining. Lyle, go to wallet.rumble.com today. And you can also support your favorite creators. Step away from big banks. Rumble Wallet.
Wait, that's my address. That's my check. Josh, how did you get my check book? Josh.
That is, think about that. The UK, you guys think like, oh, they're so proper. They are more poor on average than the poorest state we have. So when people say they have better lifestyle there, you know, it's just more balanced. Well, yeah, it's very, and I do mean this. It's more comparable to a trailer park in Arkansas, except they make less. They're less productive than someone in New York. You just see an apartment, you see a townhome. That's because their old crap looks like their new crap. They don't build new crap. The same thing as it relates to medical innovation. By the way, we could change one thing and make it even worse for them. Protect your own country in the 21st century. Go.
That's actually a big deal going on right now.
Yeah, it is.
Them raising taxes and stuff. So
we have socialized. Okay, wait, mate, oh, it's gone. Poof. Now, how did Brits react when they heard the results? 27% were shocked.
Are you taking the fucking piss?
22% were concerned. I feel embarrassed or perhaps disappointed, 15%. But motivated for change, which would be the most productive one, 14%.
Yeah, this shows you why they are where they are.
It's like, hey, would you like to put in a little extra effort, you know, and maybe not take your 4 weeks holiday and be slightly wealthier than the poor state of Mississippi? You know, it will take a lot to get me up and moving to that. Right. I'm quite comfortable, you know, being arrested for speech and having my mates die of cancer. But of course, we can always kill ourselves through the government. So we have a solution.
It's a bit final.
You know, it's embarrassing, but I'd have to work for it.
I'll think about it.
And here's the other thing, too. You look at the average. The thing that the United States, and now you have other nations, as they've moved towards more free market economies, they're more comparable, but for a long time they weren't. And this was the first place where class mobility became a thing. You guys are aware of the caste system, I'm sure. You still see it. Obviously, it's rampant in places like India. You still effectively see the ripples in the UK. In these other countries and before the United States, you were born into a class of people. You stayed there. So if you look at this average and you go, yeah, but overall people do. No, actually in the United States, 70% of Americans will be in the top 20% of earners for at least a year at some point in their life. That to me is one of the most important metrics.
Yeah.
The other most important metric that no one talks about is when people say they have a higher quality of life, and they'll often use Europe. We haven't seen this just with the UK. They'll often point to Scandinavian countries like Sweden, Denmark. Sure, they have a higher average quality of life in Sweden. It's about the population of Rhode Island. I'm exaggerating a little bit. It's entirely homogenous. Well, guess what? Swedes in America have a much higher standard of living than Swedes in Sweden. Danes in the United States have a much higher standard of living than those in Denmark. So sure, if you take a small country that's homogenous with the shared culture and it doesn't come with the complications of diversity therein, yeah, on average, it'll be better. Take those same people, that same culture, put them in a climate of freedom and class mobility, and they thrive far more. That, to me, is the most telling number out there. We make the references available. Please go check it out. We talked about it and it changed my mind. It gets worse for the UK. Because yesterday it was also revealed that they had been overtaken in the stock market valuation. By whom? Who do you think?
Like Spain, maybe?
Taiwan.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. They have a third the population.
That's awesome.
And the UK is raising household taxes faster than any other country on earth right now, almost 3 times faster than France in second place, which also sucks.
Jeez.
But here's the good news. Not everyone in Britain, there just aren't enough of them. Not everyone in Britain is a serf. Not everyone in Britain is willing to give up liberty, freedom, opportunity for comfort. Yesterday, the BBC caught up with one of these Brits. He's a black guy, by the way, who didn't agree with the narrative, made a good case, but we did have to provide subtitles.
You're a resident of Swindon. What do you think the next council, should be focusing on?
Well, I think they should regenerate the town centre. I think it's turned into like a bunch of flats area, and there's pure immigrants around here. There's dangerous areas here for women and children. I don't think it's safe. I'm all right. I'm a bit of a boy. Locally, I think there's people around here what are pretty scared to come into the town centre now. I don't come in very often. I don't bank in town. I only come in for a Guinness. That's what I come in town centre for. And I've got a few mad people around here. But they need to regenerate the town centre and jobs. Bring the wages up. Do more for the working people, less for the people that are not working. I've got a friend who earns £1,500 and he's not over £1,500 and he's not working. I work and I get less than £1,900. I'm not happy.
Steve, one unhappy voter there.
There you have it. There you have it, straight from the spook's mouth. Back to you, Tom.
Who's harder to understand, black guys from Great Britain or black guys from New Orleans?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know, but if you say that guy's name in the mirror 3 times, he shows up.
Oh no! What is his name?
Hey, a book of bees with me.
Yeah. It's Charlie Kirk.
And by the way, this is one thing, too, he just said I agree with him on a lot. And that's a guy, by the way, that's a guy not asking for a handout. That's a guy saying, hey, I'm working. And I want to be able to earn what it is, what it is that I work for. I want to be able to earn more.
Yeah.
The problem is when people say they need to bring up wages. Sometimes, and I would still probably wager that he believes the government can just bring up wages. They can't. Has that ever worked? The only way the government can do that, if you mean the government bring up wages, is raise minimum wage. You've seen what's happened with that. Automation, it's only going to be worse with AI. The government cannot bring up your wages. For more proof, see Barack Obama, average annual, or was it median average annual or median annual salary increase per household was about $1,200. First term of Trump was $4,000. Biden was negative $4,400. And now we're going back up. By doing less, by allowing you to keep more of your money and encouraging investment, there is no way in which the government can simply increase wages.
Right.
It is very easy for them to depress wages.
Exactly.
That's Marxism.
How long do you think it is before the guy goes, you know what, why am I working? I'm only getting a few hundred extra pounds every month. Like, do you know what that does to everybody around you? It's that conversation times hundreds of thousands. And they're like, but I'm just not going to work.
Right.
Why would I? This guy gets 1,500 pounds or more like every month.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever met, when you guys talk about, I know a lot of young people go, okay, boomer. And they'll say that to anyone they disagree with. But it's not lost on me that boomers definitely have done some damage to this country because the expansion of these entitlement programs that are not sustainable. I get that. But have you guys ever met a boomer who's from the area, from the era of working a big job, union job, stay there, keep your head down, do the same job forever, get your pension, boom, that's it. And they weren't that great at their job. You know that? Comment below. Do you know that kind of a person? The UK is an entire nation full of exclusively that person. That's why they're in a managed decline. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, you can click around and watch one of these videos on YouTube, or head on over to Rumble and subscribe, where I am live every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern. live on Rumble. YouTube is dead. Rumble did it. And on Rumble, you can say